Hey everybody, what's going on? Alex here from Imperial, and on this video we're going to show you the top 3 best lizards for beginners. Let's go. Now some of you guys are going to be wondering, what are the qualities of a beginner lizard? In my opinion, there's going to be 3 qualities. Number 1, you're going to have ease of care. Number 2, you're going to have hardiness. And number 3, you're going to have overall disposition of the animal and how likely they are to bite or how skittish they are. Alright guys, so first on our list that meets those 3 requirements is definitely going to have to be the leopard gecko. So the leopard gecko is, number 1, easy to care for. Number 2, extremely hardy. And number 3, extremely easy to handle. Now the leopard gecko is extremely easy to care for. These guys don't get very large. This is a full-grown adult. They don't need any type of special lighting requirement. Most of the times you can just use one heat source, and their diet is fairly simple. They're gonna eat crickets, mealworms, superworms, a lot of the times just taking mealworms straight out of a dish. Something else, extremely hardy. These guys rarely get sick and do extremely well in captivity. And as far as ease of handling, these guys are extremely easy to handle and do very well with handling. The one downside I would say is that they can lose their tails, so small children that don't really understand hand pressure could have issues handling these, but as long as they're with an adult or somebody older, they shouldn't have an issue. So now our second best beginner lizard is going to be the Crested Gecko. Let's talk about the Crested Gecko and why they make the second best beginner pet. Crested geckos are extremely easy to care for. These guys don't need any type of special lighting and do very well in just room temperature houses around 75 to 80 degrees. These guys do absolutely wonderful. They're for somebody, if you don't like feeding insects, this is probably a really good pet for you because they do very well on prepared diets like Pangea or Repashy, and they'll eat that straight out of a bowl. When it comes to hardiness, Crested geckos are extremely hardy. As long as their humidity and diet and setup is correct, they're rarely going to get sick and they're going to do extremely well. The only place that Crested geckos lack a little bit is going to be in ease of handling. Baby Crested geckos are very, very fast. They like to jump, and for people that I guess aren't comfortable with catching geckos like that, or fast-moving reptiles, it can be a little intimidating, I guess. But no worry, these guys are actually very good at falling. So if they were to fall while you're handling, they're probably not going to get hurt. I've never seen a Crested gecko get hurt from falling. All right, and for our third best beginner lizard, we have the bearded dragon. Bearded dragons, in my opinion, make the best pet lizard for one big thing in particular. It's how easy they are to handle. A lot of people, when they want a pet reptile, they want to be able to take it out. They want to be able to interact with it. They want to be able to put it on their shoulder and hang out with it like our boy here, Tremors. They want to be able to do that. Now, just like the Crested Gecko and the Leopard Gecko, which we just talked about, they can be taken out for an extended period of time, but they're not as likely to stay still and hang out like this guy is. When it comes to their hardiness, bearded dragons are also extremely hardy. If you have the right lighting, if you have the right temperature gradient, if you're giving them the right amount of food and a varied diet, it's very unlikely your reptiles or your pet bearded dragon's gonna get sick, and that pretty much goes for all reptiles. And when it comes to ease of care, bearded dragons definitely aren't the easiest to care for. The only reason I say they're not the easiest to care for is just because they do have a lot more special requirements than the other 2 lizards, the leopard gecko and the crested gecko that we spoke about earlier in the video. Bearded dragons need special lighting and they need high temperature gradients. They also going to eat a lot of food and are going to need a variety of food. And when they get older, are going to need quite a large tank. Most of the time, a 3-foot or larger tank, something similar to like a 40-gallon. It's still very automated. It's still very easy to care for. You're just going to have to take those extra precautions to make sure your pet bearded dragon is healthy and cared for correctly. Alright guys, so now just a recap of the top 3 best beginner pet lizards. We're going to have the leopard gecko. We're going to have the crested gecko that I don't have out because he was jumping everywhere. And number 3, the bearded dragon. So now in the comment section down below, let me know, what was your first pet lizard? Was it one of the 3 that we talked about today? Do you agree? Do you disagree with the 3 pet lizards we showed off? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll make sure to answer back to all of you guys. Found all this information useful and exciting, and you like some of the animals we're showing, please consider subscribing to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. We're on all of them. Make sure you go check us out. Thanks for watching, and catch us next week.